Let me tell you something about the suburbs. It's supposed to be the American dream, right? Manicured lawns, quiet Saturdays, the smell of charcoal grills. But sometimes, that dream curdles into a power-tripping nightmare fueled by middle-aged men with way too much time and a plastic badge. You want to know the exact moment my life turned into a high-stakes thriller over a couple of plastic trash cans? It wasn't when they knocked. It was when one of these pretend planners decided he had the right to lay a hand on my wife in our own damn entryway. It was one of those heavy, humid Tuesday afternoons where the air just sits on you. I was in the living room, probably debating what to defrost for dinner, when this aggressive, rhythmic pounding started at the front door. Not a hey, neighbor knock. This was a we're coming in kind of boom. I looked through the peephole, and my stomach did a little flip. There were two guys standing there in full tactical gear. I'm talking navy blue uniforms, duty belts, shiny badges, the whole 9 yards. For a split second, you think officer down? Gas leak? But then you look closer. The fit of the shirts was a bit too loose. The badges looked like something you'd buy at a surplus store, and there wasn't a squad car in the driveway, just a white SUV with a generic security decal. I knew exactly who they were, the HOA's enforcement division. Basically, guys who failed the police academy entrance exam and decided to take out their frustrations on people whose grass was a quarter-inch too high. I told Sarah, my wife, to just stay back. If it's real, they'll announce themselves properly, I whispered. But Sarah, she's got a heart of gold and a nervous streak to match. She thought maybe the neighbor's house was on fire, or there was an Amber Alert. Despite me shaking my head, she reached out and cracked the door just a few inches to ask what was going on. That was the mistake. The moment the latch clicked, the lead guy, this guy with a buzz cut and a neck that looked like a pack of hot dogs, slammed his shoulder into the door. He didn't ask to come in. He forced his way into our foyer, shouting at the top of his lungs about Section 4, Paragraph B, and visible refuse containers. It was surreal. He's screaming about trash cans while standing on my welcome mat like he's raiding a cartel hideout. Sarah was terrified. She was stuttering, trying to tell him we were just about to pull the cans in after the morning pickup, but he wasn't having it. He was high on the adrenaline of finally enforcing something. He got right in her face, spit flying, calling her negligent and disrespectful to the community standards. When Sarah reached out to try and push the door closed, to just end the confrontation, this coward, this absolute excuse for a man, swung his hand and slapped her. Hard. The sound. I can still hear it. That sharp, wet crack echoing off the hardwood floors. Time didn't just slow down, it stopped. Everything went quiet, except for the ringing in my ears. I saw Sarah stumble back, her hand flying to her cheek, her eyes wide and brimming with tears. In that heartbeat, the good neighbor, David, died, and something much older and more primal took the wheel. I didn't scream. I didn't charge them. I just turned around and walked down the hallway to the bedroom. My hands were steady, scary steady. I opened the small biometric safe by the nightstand, and the cold steel of my Smith & Wesson M&P felt like the only solid thing in a world that had gone completely sideways. I've been a licensed owner for years, spent hundreds of hours at the range, always praying I'd be the guy whose gun just gathered dust. But as I checked the chamber, I realized the world doesn't always care about your prayers. I walked back down that hallway. I didn't have the gun raised like some action movie poster. I kept it in a low, ready position, tucked by my side, muzzle pointed safely at the floor. But it was there, and they saw it. The silence that hit that room was deafening. 1 second, Hot Dog Neck was mid-sentence, probably about to threaten a lien on our house, and the next, his jaw just dropped. All that false bravado, all that I'm the law energy, it evaporated. His face went from a flushed, angry red to the color of a spoiled glass of milk. His partner, who had been lurking behind him like a loyal lapdog, actually took a physical step back, nearly tripping over the threshold. I stood there, looking them right in the eye. I didn't need to yell. When you're holding the ultimate equalizer, a whisper carries more weight than a shout. I kept my voice low, gravelly. Get out of my house, I said. Right now. You've never seen two tough guys move faster. They scrambled. They practically fell over each other trying to get out the door, retreating to their little SUV like their tails were between their legs. They realized in one terrifying moment of clarity that HOA regulations don't mean a damn thing when you've committed a felony home invasion and assaulted a man's wife. The second they were off the property, I didn't celebrate. I didn't feel like a hero. I felt sick. I grabbed the phone and called the real cops, the ones with actual training and legal authority. When the deputies arrived, they didn't see a gun nut. They saw a shaken woman with a bruising cheek and a husband who had done exactly what the Castle Doctrine was written for. See, that's the thing about power. People like those HOA goons think it comes from a uniform or a title, but real power is the right to be left alone in the sanctuary of your own home. The police report was a masterpiece of what not to do if you want to stay out of prison. Impersonating an officer? Felony. Forced entry? Felony. Assault? That's the cherry on top. The fallout was beautiful in a dark sort of way. Once the word got out, and believe me, in a neighborhood like this, word travels faster than a wildfire. The community went nuclear. People were livid. They realized their monthly dues were being used to fund a private little militia of rejects who thought they were Judge Dredd. Those two enforcers traded their fake police uniforms for real orange jumpsuits. The internet had a field day with it, too. It became this massive debate. You had the "why did he need a gun" crowd on one side, and the "he should have done more" crowd on the other. But for me, it wasn't about the politics. It was about that moment of contact, the moment someone decided that a plastic bin was worth more than a woman's safety. I still look at that spot in the foyer sometimes. Sarah's fine now, but she's more careful about who she opens the door for. We still live here, though the HOA treats us like we're made of glass. They don't even send us mail for a weed in the driveway anymore. It's funny how a Smith & Wesson can suddenly make people find their manners, isn't it? But leaves you wondering, where's the line? We've given people the power to bully their neighbors, and sometimes those people forget that behind every violation is a human being, and behind every front door is a person's entire world. So, I've got to ask you, and I want you to be honest here. Did I go too far? Or did I not go far enough? If someone forced their way into your home and put their hands on the person you love most, would you wait for the real authorities to show up 20 minutes later, or would you take matters into your own hands right then and there? Drop a comment and let's talk about it. Is the Castle Doctrine a relic of the past? Or is it the only thing keeping the peace in a world that's losing its mind over trash cans? If this story made your blood boil or made you think twice about that HOA letter in your mailbox, hit that like button and subscribe. We're digging into the stories that the official channels like to sweep under the rug. Stay safe, watch your back, and for heaven's sake, keep your trash cans out of sight. You never know who's watching. I'd be happy to explore the legal nuances of the Castle Doctrine or discuss how to handle HOA disputes more effectively if you're interested.